Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome to Crypto Lunch Break. I'm your host, Satoshi Shaw. Glad that you're here. Hey Jaron and Jalen. Good to see you guys. Welcome, as I said. Just want to do a quick show since I haven't done one in about a week or so. I wanted to make sure I did a giveaway. Gave away some crypto, spread the wealth. Hope everyone is doing well. Good to see you too, bud. Good to see you too. I'm going to do a giveaway from the comments. If you haven't commented, go back and comment the last, I think, 6 videos. And I'll give away some from the chat too. But before I get started, want to say thanks to Forgotten Chain. They are sponsoring today's show. Let me make things a little bigger so I can show you guys. Forgotten Chain, I've taken a look at this game. It looks pretty cool. It is a MMO, what's it called? An MMORPG, which is a multiplayer online role-playing game. It's massive. Oh, there it is. Massive multiplayer online. I was like, there's 2 M's. There is a trailer for you. You can check it out. I like how they say here in the beginning, you own the game. Everything's based in NFTs, which we've talked about. I've talked about blockchain games a million times. And what we're really looking for now is quality, and this does look really, really cool. Basically the usual mage, warlock, assassin, knight, fighter, tank, and magic user. The game itself looks really cool. Looks big, open world. Pretty neat. There's a link in the description to check them out. They are on Binance Smart Chain, so they're cheap. You don't have to worry about the massive fees and all. They are having an ICO. If you check out their calendar, which on the 15th, I think there's when that starts, and also they're gonna have a live stream gameplay on that date. So check it out. You can make an account. It's real simple. I set one up. But like I said, thanks again to Forgotten Chain for sponsoring today's episode. They're part of the reason we're going to do a giveaway. But you can check them out on the link I'm sending, or the link in the description. All right, now let's. Hey Martin, Tommy, good to see you guys. What's new this week? Here's it's my take on some things. First, I used to be a huge Musk fanboy. And then I kind of second guessed it a little bit. The past year, I guess, few months. But I'm 100% on board again with him. I really, it's sad that there's so few champions of things that we believe in, like free speech, liberty, freedom in general. And I'm glad that the richest man in the world is one of them. He was having this interview is really cool. I should put a link to this news story that this German feller did with him, and he's opening a huge Tesla plant in Germany, in Berlin, I think. Which is neat because, I grew up in Germany for a while, and the car industry is really huge. I guess it's weird living abroad. Like, most of Europe can fit inside of Texas. And when you think of Europe, you think of this, it's a huge continent, all these different countries. And when you think of just the sheer scope of how big the United States is, it really blows your mind. Especially the United States and Canada, because until recently, I really thought, U.S. and Canada are just kind of, you know, there's not much difference. It's like the same thing. But so when you think of Germany, especially when I grew up there, I grew up in West Germany, which was different. So it was even smaller. Um, like the whole country was very much like Michigan, like Detroit. Like the country itself was a big car manufacturer. Um, I remember going on like a um, school. What's it called when you go places? What is that called? Outings? Not that's a dumb thing to say. School field trips. We used to go to field trips to like Mercedes Benz, factory and stuff, which was cool. But to now see Tesla, an American, car company there in Berlin, I think I don't know, it's really cool for me. But anyway, this guy did this interview, and first off, that they aired it, I thought was really cool. But Musk just was very very frank, and up front with calling out the German government for uh, bowing down to Russia when it comes to energy. And I didn't know this, but the German government has shut down several power plants, nuclear power plants, which if you're worried about nuclear energy, it's probably because of the FUD that was perpetuated by the other the gas and oil coal industry, because nuclear energy is one of the cleanest and safest energy sources that there is, especially, and must make this point, if you're in a place where there's not a lot of natural disasters, like in California or some other places that have, like, they're plagued by you know uh, earthquakes and things like that. Maybe it's not the best thing, but especially in Germany, it's perfect. um, and the fact that they had shut down those plants, it really, to me, I see no other explanation than just corruption in the government. There's no reason to have shut them down. And he said that they should reopen the ones that they've shut down, and that they should focus more on that, because that will make you energy independent. No matter what country you live in, if you are energy independent, then you have uh, less people to depend on. But you have less room for. It's like decentralization. You have less points of failure for corruption, and so on. So I really liked the interview. And I liked that he made that point, um, that Germany should not have done that, and that they should be focusing on that. So on the Twitter thing. So first off, it's just crazy that he bought almost 10% of Twitter stock. Boom. And by him doing that, the stock skyrocketed. He could have just dumped and made a huge profit, which would have been hilarious. He could have dumped, made a huge profit, and then rebought in, which would have been, funny. He probably would have gotten in trouble for it, but because everything, on that level has to go through the SEC, and they have to file for it and all. But I thought it was very interesting. And then everyone knew that he's going to go on the board. And we talked about this on the World Blockchain Roundtable, that being on the board, there's not a lot that you do when it comes to day-to-day operations. But the one thing you can do, the biggest thing you can do, is fire the CEO and hire a CEO. And that was the biggest thing. So he had talked about that. The CEO was scared. The left and statists, communists, totalitarian, basically all the evil forces in the world, were horrified that he was moving in, and he was talking about free speech, especially with all the crap that he was talking on Twitter about it before. And then after he bought all the stock, it was amazing. I was just going on his post like, dude, no matter what you're doing, you've made this so hilarious. This is so much fun. He was putting up like insane polls, and just having a lot of fun, which a billionaire having fun like that instead of, terrorizing women and so on, I think is a really good thing in general. But so why didn't he take the job as on the board. I think, first off, they were all scared. I think they brought him in, they had the talk with him, and one thing I think he would have to do is he had to sign an agreement, and if he's on the board, his hands are tied. You basically can't do anything that could be construed as hurting Twitter. So no more talking crap, no more silly tweets. Um, and one thing about Musk, he doesn't like to be tied down. Even if he is, I mean, he's gotten in trouble, with the SEC and with government organizations just because he wants to have fun. And he is basically he's basically fine with getting in trouble. I was talking to my girlfriend the other day about this one time that I bought this poster. It's a Brack poster. If you don't know who Brack is, he's hilarious. But I got this poster, and my son saw it. And he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna take this poster." And I was like, "No, it's mine. I just bought it." I said, "I'm gonna hang it up." And he's like, "No, I'm gonna take this poster. I'm stealing this poster." And he's just walking off. And I was like, "Whoa, what are you doing? You can't do that." I said, "No, put it down." He's like, "No, I understand. I'm in trouble. It's cool." It's like, whatever you want to do, it's fine. Just give me the punishment. I'm fine. But I'm going to have this poster now. He just kept walking off. And as a father, I was so confused and angry because he was just consigned to, I'm going to do this. Whatever you're going to do, I'm okay with. So I'm like, I'm going to ground you for like 2 weeks. He's like, oh, okay. That's okay. I was like, Alex, I will buy you the poster. Just wait like a week or two for it to get here. He's like, no, just buy that. You buy the poster, and it'll be here in a week or two for you. You punish me, and I'm going to have this poster now. I'm walking off. So he took the poster, and I punished him, and that was it. And it was the weirdest thing. But that's kind of how I think Musk is. He's like, I'm going to do what I want to do, and I'm going to pay for it. Another thing it reminds me of is just the difference that rich people, the lives that they lead. I remember I was a financial advisor, and my ex-wife would write bad checks. Like she just spent shit, and if I would limit the money that would be in the account, and she just started writing bad checks. And if you write a bad in Texas, you can go to prison for writing a bad check. So she would write bad checks like $1,500 in a month, and these checks would go to the county attorney, and they would charge me like $50 for the merchant, and then they would charge me like $150 or $200 to them. And so every month I had to pay all these they weren't even fines, they went to court, these fees to the county attorney. But if I didn't pay them, then my ex-wife would have been arrested and went to jail. And normal people, if they didn't have the money for that, it's a crime. But literally, my ex-wife could go commit this crime multiple times, and it was just paying. It was just the difference of money that allowed her to just commit this crime all she wanted. And I think that's how a lot of things are in a lot of countries, but especially in the United States, where if you just have money, I mean, that's literally what laws are meant to do. There's an anecdote that this guy was on a date with this girl, wealthy dude, and they were at the park having a picnic, and she said, "Oh, I wish we could go over there, have a picnic over there." And he's like, "Oh, okay, let's go over there." She said, "No, there's all these signs, keep off the grass, or you'll be fined, $50." She goes, "No, it just costs $50 to eat over there." That's the mindset. So I think that is the mindset of Musk, especially if you're the richest man in the world. So he is. My point is, and I've been rambling. I'm sorry. My point is that he is. He did not want to be reined in, and then there's two things that I'm looking at here when it comes to why he didn't take the job. Why he decided not to join Twitter's board. I think the first thing is because he just didn't want to be reined in and controlled. And a big part of him taking that job, I think that the evil side of the good and evil world that we live in, I think that they knew they lost. I mean, they knew they can't win against him in a capitalist society that we still have some little semblance of. Um, so they were going to give him, the position, and that would be a way for them to control him as much as possible. Also, a little known thing is that as a board member, he really couldn't buy a lot more stock, because if you're on the board, you can only own like 13 to 15%, which he already owns like 10. So in him turning that down, gave him the freedom to still be the biggest shareholder, to still be a loose cannon, to Elon space, that is cool. So it still gives him the ability to talk all the shit he wants, to tweet all the tweets that he wants to tweet, and still have enormous amount of influence over the platform because he is the biggest shareholder there. He's a free individual and citizen. He can sell, he can do whatever, but he can buy more. So by him not taking this role, it frees him up to actually take over the platform, to do a hostile takeover of Twitter. If he was on the board, he would have not be able to do that because he'd be limited on how much more stock that he could buy. So I think that's in the cards, man. And even if it's not in the cards, it's a possibility and it's out there. So if he pushes for the company to go in a direction, if he's on the board, they know that he can't do much. But as he is now, he can do more. So I think it gives him actually more influence to do what he's doing. But that's just my 2 cents. What else? Oh, Bitcoin. Now this is real. This is real adoption. That Bitcoin is being inserted into the ethos more because more restaurants are starting to take cryptocurrency. It's not a weird thing. It's not something you have to look for. It's becoming much more commonplace, which this is what real adoption is. It's really cool that we're part of history. We're getting to see this. We're looking at like 5-10 years from now, seeing crypto being taken everywhere. It's just common, and us coming from a place where it was just weird internet money. It's just it's phenomenal. Let me see here. Energy dependence, Powerwall, communications. Starlink is really cool. I've been looking at it a little bit more. I can't even read that. That's you're talking some crazy conspiracies there. But with all the privatized space exploration, we can go there. These people have the money and the will. They could take a trip over there and just and see what's there. Put an end to the speculation. But I think this is a really big thing that I think we're coming for the normalization of cryptocurrency. That's real. That's real adoption when it's not a big deal or it's not cool anymore. It's just normal. Like it is, I remember when I first started being in the drive-thru or something and seeing people just tap their phones, to pay for stuff. That to me was like, what are they doing? And then, now it's just common. Everybody just taps their phones and pays for stuff. So I think that's where we're going to be, not even that far down the road, not 5 years from now, probably like 2. And we'll be at that level now. I mean, there's going to be people who are going to be slow to the party that are just, very anti-tech or just, resistant to change. But I think most people, the people that are tapping their phones, paying with PayPal and Venmo and, all that kind of stuff, they're going to be the ones using crypto in a year or two. It's definitely coming. This former Ethereum developer Virgil Griffith is going to be sentenced in court Tuesday. And this is kind of an interesting story, especially for me and for anyone on YouTube or even on Twitter, just a regular guy. So Griffith pled guilty to one count of conspiracy to violate international sanctions against North Korea. He faces up to over 20 years in prison. But he was at I remember when they did this, North Korea had a Twitter conference or a crypto conference. And I guess he went. But he had talked about just basically how to use crypto. And I mean, you can use it for anything. But he had just talked about how to use it, which could go against, sanctions. What is this thing called? IPA, the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. So because he talked about that, he could be facing up to 20 years, but he pled guilty, so they're going to get months. But still, $1 million fine to $1 million fine, and I read 63 and 78, but it's months, not years, so 5.5 to 6 years in prison, or 5 to 6.5 years in prison. Still a big deal just for talking about that. Now, in our kind of thing, I mean, people talk about you can use a VPN. To me, when you're talking about KYC and AML stuff like that, it's kind of the same thing, which worries me a little bit. Just gotta have to watch what you say, because if the government is out to get you, there's all types of things like this that they can use. It's a little unnerving. So everyone has to be careful about what they say and how they say it. I think this is a definite reminder of that. I mean, that's like 6 years in prison and $1 million, man. All right, let's give away some crypto. We got 6 videos from the last week, 4 or 5, and then the last lunch break. So let's give away $30 in BNB. I don't know. I'll give away 2 30s or 150. I'll give away 2 30s. First one going to video number 6, which is also Money Metals. Looking at ad for Money Metals. You can go to Money Metals and if you buy $100 of the whatever, silver, gold, copper. Copper's really cool. I'm going to be giving away some copper. I just ordered some. But you can get a free half ounce of silver. Just use the code Sean, SEAN. Put that in there, and you get yourself some free silver. Okay, so we're on number 6, which is the Last Crypto Rewind with me, Rice, and my buddy Bozak. That was a good one. All right, so $30 in BNB, 112 comments. Going to, please don't message me, scammers. Let this dude just get it. Eric Houghton. Nice stuff as always. Thank you, Eric. You've won $30 in BNB. But you don't go starting an account or changing the picture on your account and try to get it. It's very annoying. And I'm just trying to give away some crypto and be nice. All right, another $30 in BNB going to, let's see here, video number 6 again. All right. So, you do this again. Pick another winner. $30 in BNB going to Sebastian Mendres. Crypto market coming future. I think that was Google Translate was using that, I'm sure. But Sebastian, you have won $30 in BNB. I'll check your Twitter or your YouTube profiles. If you have your BNB addresses on there, then which is the best way, because then I can go right from your comment to your page and I know it's you. Then I'll send it there. As far as you fellas in the chat, 1984. Yeah, dude. If you, how do I've looked at some interviews with him, and Orwell. I thought he was odd before. I thought he was a little weird, but now when I watch the interviews, it's like he was in the future. It's like he saw the future, and he went back because he's like it's so intense and so nervous, and people are like, "Oh, it's a lovely story, and it's great, and you're great," and he's like, "Dude, it's serious. This is serious. This is real. You have to read this. It's not just like for entertainment. You know, you gotta watch. You gotta see the message, man." And he was dying of, I think, tuberculosis. Some of the interviews were on literally. He was in bed. He was on his deathbed, and he was always so intense. And his message was always like, "This is serious. It's not just a book, y'all." And all the interviewers were all, what a lovely book, and oh, it's so entertaining, and oh, you're such a great writer. And now I can see that he was very, very scared about this reality, which we've dwarfed it. We've come further than it, especially if a quarter of the conspiracies are true. When it comes to like Clintons and Epstein and all, if just 10% of the craziness is real, and there's been so many conspiracies that have proved true that we literally have surpassed the horrors that he wrote about, in a lot of ways, and just a lot of the anti-freedom and so on. We have we've proven that we've went further than. I mean, the technology, he had no clue at how far we could have come so fast. Yeah, good to have you here, Dave. So yeah. Anyway, let's give away some money in the chat. Let me see here. All right. So let's we're talking about 1984. What is another book that George Orwell wrote? First answer gets $30 in B&B. Go. I know Europeans are going to get it right away, because we were hit with 1984 much more in the United States than this other book. You guys are taught this other book. I mean, there's lots of books they wrote, but this other book is so huge in your education system and all. It's a much bigger book when it comes to European people. They're always bringing this book up. There you go. How to Crypto got it. Animal Farm. Yeah. Europeans, much bigger in your zeitgeist over there is Animal Farm. All right, Huddle, you won $30 in B&B. Give me your address and I'll shoot it over to you. If I don't have it saved. But that's about it for today, man. It was good hanging out with you guys. Hit me in the comments. Comment after this goes live so that you're entered in to win, crypto on the next one, because the random comment picker doesn't go through the live chat, just the comments that are up afterwards. So you guys take care. It was good hanging out with you. Check out Forgotten Chain. I got the links below. I will see you all in the next video. Take care.